Hi guys, Jason here again from Nathaniel School of Music, and if you haven't checked out part 1, do go ahead and check it out. I've taught you how to play this super cool bass line by AR Rahman, the song Urvasi, and now I'm going to use the line which we learned to sort of understand a few concepts about timing and improve our timing, not only for this song but anything you would play. Okay, so the first thing about time for me is the feel and the way you, yeah, the way you feel time. I don't really know what to call it. I guess time feel, right? So um when the song plays, there are two things which you always have to keep in mind, and these are very rudimentary things. At the same time, they are the most important things, right? The first thing is the pulse. So if you observe my what I'm doing with my leg right now, with and while I play the tune on the bass, I'm always sort of giving myself the pulse of the song, and the pulse is sort of like how the audience would react to the music. So I think it's a very important part of us. It's a very important part of the music, because if you don't have that within you, it's going to be tough for you to connect with the audience, or rather get them to really appreciate and dance and just get out of their seats when you play. So the first thing I would do is play the line with your foot always as quarter notes. And I have this tambourine here, which is a really nice thing. It's by Meinl, and it just allows me to hear what I'm doing with my leg, which I think is very important, right? However, you could use a shoe or you could use other things, but I just have this tambourine going, and yeah, it's a nice sound. You could also use it live at points. So here goes with the tambourine on the pulse. Right? So just make sure it's consistent. Make that foot a part of your music. It should be like you're a one-man band, and this is like with you, or like a drummer. Anyway, a drummer would do stuff like this. And slow it down. You do not need to play it so fast. Slow it down till you really feel the pulse, and then bring it to whatever convenient speed for you. So quicker. So initially, this may be a little bit of a challenge for you guys. It may be new, I'm sure. So start really slow, start really simple. You may want to start with some other song. Maybe this song is a bit tricky, so start with like whatever. Something on those lines. Because this bass line is the one we are playing now is really groovy. It's on a very, very interesting time division. So if you're not getting the pulse, make sure you start simple, start slow, or try out another piece of music which you can relate to, like Smoke on the Water or whatever. Right, guys? So now that you're able to get the pulse, the other thing is to imagine the feel of the song and try to imagine the smallest subdivision of the pulse. So in this case, we say the smallest subdivision is 16th notes, because it's if you hum the tune, do do do, it's not, that's a lot lazier, right? Now, if you're not sure about the theory behind this, you can check out a lesson which I've done called Dividing the Beat. I'd suggest you to watch that. But prior to that, right now you can just sort of imagine a shaker. You've all heard that instrument, right? Some of you may even play one. So just imagine a shaker and probably try to vocalize it and then have it running in your head when you play. So uh, it's not very easy to do initially, but once you get the shaker, you also have to get it with your leg as well as you count. So right, make sure the leg and your voice is going, and so on. That's a very, very important thing. So that will get you to have the time feel. Okay. And another very, very important thing to do while you play the lick or play that line on the bass is to sing as you go. Okay. So when you sing, imagine the shaker in your head, the pulse has to be running, and sing it while you play. This will get you to be a lot more confident with the riff. Doom, doom, doom. Ba-de-da-dum, boom, boom, boom. You can also make a few, random, silly rhythm or percussive noises with your mouth if you wish. Like, right. We all wish we were Michael Jackson, right? But do whatever you can. Okay, so the last thing you can try, and it's probably going to be the most taxing thing and the least fun initially, but it has to be done. Trust me. Anything you hear, the first order of business or the last order of business, you have to do it at some point in your learning, is transcription. Okay, so transcribing the song is nothing but writing it down in a form which you understand. And a lot of people use staff notation or tabs, or you can use something which is visual, like something like what I'm going to show you now. So I call it a time grid, and it's basically a set of beats, and we are just going to put a marking at the beats which exist in the original song, which is right. So those beats, all those beats we are going to basically mark out and understand them, so then we can practice them slowly, fast, or at whatever level we wish. So let me just write this down for you guys. So since the feel of this song is 16th notes, we use this way of writing: 1 E and A. So 1 becomes the main or the downbeat, and these become the subdivisions. The E is at the 25% mark, the AND is at the 50% mark, and the A is at the 75% mark. So since this song is on 4 beats per bar, we have these beats: 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So if we were to sing it, you'll realize, let me try to do line 1. Doop, 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 do 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 doop, 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 right? 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4, ba da da doom, 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 right? So when you sing it, you should imagine the subdivisions. Again, this is where that shaker comes in handy, right? The shaker gets you to really latch on to that exact point in the beat or that exact subbeat. So if I slow this down and sing it for you guys, doop, so doop, 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 right? Doop, 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 da da da. Da 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 is a continuous set. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and then 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, right? So it's quite different from the first bar, which is what makes this really, really groovy. So that's 2, 3, and so on. Yeah, I guess you get it from here. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and let me now do it with the pulse and point out 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a dun 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 da 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 dum 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 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, and initially slow that down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. And if you observe, if you can hear what my leg is doing, it's always doing the pulse, even at a slow rate. 1 E and a 2 E. Oops, I did something wrong. Yeah. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and pare boom 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 pare dum 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 dum. Quicker. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a dun 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 dun. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. So you need to really understand how each of these points feel. The one has a certain feeling. You move to it, you respond to it differently. The E is like offbeat, so it gets your body to feel it very, very differently. So whereas the and the right? So this is the groove again. So let me just play it now on the bass and try to observe the markings and see if you can follow it. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 again. 1 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. So initially this will be tough because you're trying to read it, understand it, really understand it, and then play it. You're not necessarily playing it by intuition or by memory, right? So the first few times will be a little tough. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 2 E and a If you're struggling with the first 3 hits, just focus on that. And then move on to the whole bar. Okay. Okay, let that go. And now bring it all together. Slow it down. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 1 E and yeah 1 E and a 1 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 right. And this will definitely improve your timing and your confidence over the instrument and with anything you do as a musician, I'm quite sure. So 4 things to remember, guys, very, very important. These are not glamorous things in music, but it has to be done, and once you get it, you've got it for life. You can do this on any other song, and you will always sound good. Okay. The first thing, as we mentioned earlier, let's recap. The first thing would be the pulse, which you do with your leg, right? The second thing is to have an invisible shaker running inside you, to do the feel of the song, right? And the third thing is to sing the groove as you play. And lastly, you have to transcribe the groove. Whatever the bass line is, you can even do this with songs with popular melodies to get yourself started. But it's a very, very important thing. And you don't just have to use this method. This is a very crude method. You can use normal staff notation or any other method you may know. Or if you don't know anything, you can probably use this, because I think this is quite easy. Okay, so again, this is Jason here from Nathaniel School of Music. Hope you found the tutorial useful. Now go and play it and do a great job. And I will catch you guys in the next lesson. In the meanwhile, please subscribe to our channel by hitting the button subscribe. It's that simple. And if you like what you watched, make sure to share it with all your musician friends, or maybe friends who are not musicians and then want to get into music at some point. Cheers.